I got the job teaching at that school, and that's when I was able to see the standard of education in Nigeria compared to what the South Africans black got. There's a segregation that is so different what is white school and a black school in South Africa look like. It's some completely different. They have resources. They have beautiful buildings, but they don't have manpower. There's no teachers, no teachers. They have equipment. No one can teach them anything. So they just go there, sit down, and their English very poor. They didn't have quality teachers. And they only got white teachers that couldn't get job at white school.
Wow.
Because they're not qualified, something like that.
Right.
They want to teach, or because maybe they need the money for a little thing, so they get such job. And these unqualified white teachers at black schools, they get more respect than even a principal that's a black person in that school. So the segregation was so bad in South Africa. And then I went to a restaurant because I didn't know that I couldn't go to these places. I went to a restaurant and the guys wouldn't let me enter the restaurant. And I said, and I can see other people going in. And he said, no, you can't enter here. You see, I actually saw that firsthand. The Americans of the 50s saw that. You know what I'm saying? I saw that in South Africa in 1996.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you know about the racial sect in South Africa. The black, the colored, and the white. And the colored, you may not know the colored very well.
Somebody that's like Latin people or Muslim people?
Even I don't know the colored myself. I don't know who they are. But I know they're more like, I think the Chinese would be under the colored if they're mixed together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so the black was still at the
black is still at
very
the bottom
end
of the thing, and then there's the colored, and there is the
white.
The white. So the colored often do jobs like nursing, but the white person there will be the boss, of course. But
like Indian, there was
like
a lot of
Indians,
Indian.
yes, like Indians.
Yeah,
Indians are part of the colored, yes, something like
Right.
that. So I had some colored teachers with me. So colored are allowed into some places. So we went to this restaurant, and my colored friends were allowed to go in. We are teachers. I wasn't allowed. And so my friends were like, but he's with us. And this is the funny part. Eventually, let's say we are 6, for example. One of the teachers suggested that, hey, what about you Sharon, colored? Why don't you and Ghanniy go and eat somewhere else? We eat here. And that's what they did. But I felt like that was even not good.
Oh,
we should all not eat there. We should all go. And so, but then it shows that they were used to the system. It's something that it wasn't a big deal to them. They were used to that.
that was the first time you had come across it
That was
because it
the
never
first
happened
time
before.
someone kicked me out of the place because they didn't want me in because of my color. So I stayed there for as long as I could before I decided to move out of South Africa. So, like I said, I was moving to the West. I want to live in England or live in America, you know what I'm saying? And that's what led me to Taiwan also. I applied to Kanchao, and I didn't get, they won't even respond to my application. I applied like over 10 times. So one day I saw a teacher at the bus stop, and he said, oh, he's teaching at Kanchao, he just got a job there. It's a white guy, of course. And I said, wait a minute, who is in charge of recruitment at your school? Because I've applied like 10 times, I never got any response. And he said, actually, the person is an African. I said, really? He's an African? He said, yeah, he's South African. I said, oh, come on. Is she not white? He said, yeah, she's white. Okay, that's what I said. Just like, no wonder I never got any response. But he went to school and met this lady and told her. Now, this is the funny part. I didn't even tell this guy my name. I got an email that day back from that woman analyzing exactly why she didn't call me back. It was her old page. She remembers me. She never, replying is a courtesy. Okay, you couldn't get a job because we couldn't call you for interview for any reason. But that's it. And everything she even wrote was a lie. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't matter. So the racism thing, sometimes they don't admit they're racist, but they are racist. And they teach Taiwanese people too that racism, because they're like, oh, don't take black people, they don't speak real English. You don't speak real English. You don't even have it as a first language. It's not your first language either. So that's it. And Taiwan, I can say this now. I've been asked, is Taiwan a racist country? I'm going to say yes. It's a racist country. Why they're racist? I don't know. They accept it. Someone told them, the white people told them, this is how you should do it. Don't take passport from Ghana, passport from Nigeria. Take passport from South Africa, because they are white. No, they don't even speak English themselves. From South Africa, from New Zealand, from Australia, from even Scotland. Scotland get to teach here. Ireland, the Irish, have you had Irish people speak English to you? You know what I'm saying? They get to teach here. And then anyone, the people that have the English as their first language, don't take them because their passport is in Ghana. Who set up that rule in Taiwan? So the rules that if you don't have a passport from one of those, I call them the famous 5, then you cannot teach in Taiwan irrespective of your qualification or how good you are. Someone came up with that rule, you know what I'm saying? And that is racism, as far as I'm concerned. And that is racism that is happening in Taipei or in Taiwan because the government allows someone to manipulate them. It has to be the famous 5 countries that are in Taiwan.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that there was a category of countries that, that's interesting because, and I'm just wondering if you're saying, you know, it's white people or it's just the fact that Taiwan as a country, because it's being Asian is so homogenous, you know, and cultures outside, there's certain ones that they're used to. So it might not necessarily just be a white person that's manipulating the system. I don't know. I'm just thinking.
I understand that. I agree with you. I agree because it's the media, like you said before, what they know. They know us as gangsters in movies and stuff. And that's one of the things I try to change in Taiwan. So that's why I mentioned that when you see black people, they're doing some weed around their waist, dancing like the acrobatics. And I, in my theater and thing, I say, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I want them to see us as respectable people, that we have a civilization, we have culture, and our culture is more beautiful than just naked dancing. You understand that?
Yeah, so it's the, I think it's the stereotyping that you're talking about. People that are not really knowledgeable or educated about certain different countries or certain different culture tendencies or whatever it is, they only have an image that they have in their head, which is stereotyping.
Yes.
People, I mean, when you're talking about dancing, when people go to Hawaii, they think, they're all just the hula dancers and things like that.
You understand it, yes.
But unfortunately, that's just the situation. And hopefully that we can change it by doing what you're doing, is educating people and changing people's perceptions that people are people. Yes. It doesn't matter where they're coming from. Yes, there are bad people, there are good people, but to just judge somebody based on what you think they're like is just not right.